Is it fair to say everyone's winning on Gear 6?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But what if it never drops? Gear 5th is peak Luffy, but like Gear 2nd to 4th, the stamina drain goes crazy fast. The real question isn't what's next, it's how does he master what he already has. Oda's pattern has been beyond stacking forms, it's about refinement. Mid-Gear 4th proves that. So the end game isn't necessarily Gear 6th, it's turning Gear 5th from a form into Luffy's natural state of being. Luffy's power has always dropped raw and come in with a warning label. Every time he invents a new gear, it comes with massive drawbacks. But over time, he always finds a way to refine those powers into something more natural and sustainable. Take Gear 2nd, for example. When he first used it, it was a full body transformation that burned through his lifespan. But after practice, he learned to focus it into just his arms or his legs for single attacks, making it casual and safe to use whenever he wanted to. Gear 3rd followed the same path. Early on, the form was janky with its chibi recoil effect, leaving him completely open for punishment. But eventually, he mastered it so he could inflate only the bones he needed, with no shrinking drawback at all. Then Gear 4th came. In its early stage, it came with a hard timer. Once it ran out, Luffy was just left with zero Haki completely on E. But later, we saw him firing off Gear 4th attacks in short bursts, which he calls Mini Gear 4th. So Gear 5th could follow the same pattern. This is the full Nika package, but in its current state, it drains him crazy fast and it can't hold for long. Just like before, the logical next step is for Luffy to refine it, turning something chaotic into something controlled. We might see it first in small ways, like using Gear 5th's powers without fully transforming or switching in and out of the form instantly for single attacks. Maybe even a limited bridge state, like a mini Gear 5th, before reaching the final step. But eventually, the end point is clear. Gear 5th becomes Luffy's natural state of freedom. And that leads to the bigger question. If Gear 5th evolves the way every other gear has, what would this new state actually look like? So think about Dragon Ball Super. Before achieving Mastered Ultra Instinct, Goku used Ultra Instinct Sai, which is a half step that previewed the end state. Luffy's Mini Gear 5th could work the same way, short bursts of awakening without the full white hair transformation. You can think of it as a pseudo Gear 5th. Luffy keeps his base look, black hair, and his normal clothes, but with distinct traits of Gear 5th layered in. His hair goes into that wavy, fiery shape of Gear 5th, his pupils turn red, and his movements carry that same Toon Force vibe. It's basically Gear 5th style blended into his base form, letting him tap into awakened powers without the heavy stamina drain of the full transformation. There's a good chance that awakened zone users don't just stick to one hybrid form. The higher their mastery seems to be, the more flexible their transformations could appear. We've already seen that higher level zone users don't stick to just one form. Chopper eventually moved past Rumble Balls and could swap between his points freely with the exception of Monster Points still. Marco often shifts his arms and legs into Phoenix mode instead of going full hybrid, and more recently, Killingham has been shown in a partial hybrid and a full Centaur-like form with the Awakening Smoke effect appearing in both cases. Even Noshijiro seems to hint at the same kind of flexibility, though we've only seen him transform his lower body so far. All of it points to the same idea though. Flexibility may be a hallmark of mastery. And this could set up the real endgame for Luffy, the peak of Luffy's base form, where his body naturally carries Gear 5th's speed, strength, and durability with awakened powers on tap. Oda might be pointing towards Luffy training Gear 5th the same way Goku's perfecting Ultra Instinct, moving from transformations towards the Angel's effortless state. But it could go either way too, because Zone Awakenings usually come with a set awakened form, and Gear 5th's look is already too iconic to drop, so maybe Luffy keeps the full transformation, while also learning to use parts of it in his base. Either way, the real question is, how far can Gear 5th be refined? If Luffy's refinement of Gear 5th shows up anywhere, Elbaf feels like the spot. The giants are split, old warriors clinging onto their tradition versus a new push towards diplomacy and progress. That clash between inherited strength and chosen purpose is the core of their arc, especially with Loki. And this is where Luffy might come in. From the start of the story, Shanks taught him that strength isn't about winning every fight, but knowing which ones matter. Luffy doesn't wrestle with that the way Loki does. He already embodies the balance that he needs. So if Gear 5th evolves from a draining form into something natural, it could mirror the harmony Elbaf's culture and Loki needs. And Mini Gear 4th could already be the clue. Oda had Luffy name it outright. something he never really did with his refined gear 2nd and 3rd after the time skip. And the fact that it debuted here in Elbaf feels deliberate. It might not just be a new move, but foreshadowing, telling us to watch for refinement as the theme, with Gear 5th as the big payoff layer. Think of this as just one chapter in the bigger story. If we're asking whether Gear 5th could evolve into something permanent, the next step is looking at what makes Gear 5th different from every other power Luffy's had. And that's exactly what I cover in this video here.